Light guardians of the world, it is time to rise, to become who you are and change the world with your shine. Aloha, fellow light guardians, dreamers, shifters within this beautiful holographic matrix. Happy full moon, and thank you for joining in for another Paradigm Shift Central live team podcast. This is, of course, our special full moon synergy circle team podcast on the topic of the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian. And of course, I am joined once again by some fellow amazing conscious creators, some shifters here to be able to take part in tonight's conversation. So fellow shifters with us on air tonight, go ahead, gently unmute your microphones and let's make some full moon howls, lots of noise, and send some love to all the people who are tuned in tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here and being a part of this discussion tonight. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
What's up, people?
Love you guys, people of the world, shifters. Woo, woo.
Ow.
Awesome, beautiful. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. We're going to get right into tonight's discussion as we just move through a little bit of some introduction, and then we'll do a quick little meditation, and then we'll get right into the key part of tonight's topic, which again is about the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian. So the Paradigm Shift Central Project, for those of you who aren't entirely familiar, first of all, my name is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, Mystic Spider-Man. We've been doing this project for quite some time, and this is a project about being able to bring people together who are passionate about being able to help assist and accelerate the shift in consciousness. It's about being able to share our passion, to share our heart song, and to ultimately be able to inspire each other, to inspire people to choose to be the change that they wish to see in the world. So within this community, you can connect into our Discord. We've got a lot of amazing people there who are creating other conscious community events, who are doing their own broadcasts, creating their own content. If you haven't connected to the Discord, highly encourage you to do so. And we also have our podcast on Spotify at Paradigm Shift Radio. And you can also check out my Patreon, where you can join as a leading member within the community to be able to join on air for these podcasts, get access to other exclusive events, to be able to help assist you in your journey as a conscious creator, to help you with building your own conscious community, and lots of other exclusive perks and benefits. So thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys help make this broadcast possible. And yeah, for those of you who are tuned in right now, go ahead, drop some 11 lemons in the chat to confirm that you guys can hear us loud and clear. And if the audio and the video is a little bit out of sync, we'll get that fixed as we go along. And yeah, this is really, really exciting to be back here on air, to be sharing in this topic, because obviously we're just coming out of like the wake of what could have been potentially the craziest retrograde for a lot of us in the past little while. Not along, if you agree with that one. And here we are. Lots of things have shifted. Lots of things have crystallized. I myself am in my new studio, moved into a new location, and super excited to be back here once again with all of these amazing people, to get back into our routine, back into our flow, and yeah, to really be able to cultivate some powerful inspiration that will carry with us beyond this podcast, beyond this broadcast, beyond this synergy circle. So this is a community experience. This is about awesome people coming together and just sharing our joy, sharing our passion, and sharing again what it is that we carry with us that helps bring more magic into this world by simply being who we are, by being the light guardians that we are here to be. So we'll do a little bit of a meditation, and of course tonight's topic, the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian. We'll talk more about this as we get into it, but this is a core part of what the Paradigm Shift Central community is about. And obviously being the project itself being a reflection of something that, again, you know, I started just as like a little project back in the day. A big part of that project is really my own personal passions of wanting to be able to bring powerful mythos into a place that other people can be able to tap into. And so this mythos of the light guardian, which we'll talk about a little bit more, you can think of it as just another word for light worker. We also use the term shifter, but there's a story to this, and we'll talk a little bit more about the story. And this is something that we invite you to be able to see yourself in, to see yourself, to be able to invite you to reflect, what does it mean to be a light guardian to you, for yourself on this journey. So if you're here to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness, if you want to make the world a better place, then you very well could be a light guardian, so much as you are willing to choose to be. So we'll do a little bit of a meditation, and just before we do that, of course, I just want to give a nice warm welcome to all of the amazing conscious creators that we have on air with us, and we're going to have a few more people joining in partway through. So again, my name is Brendon, Mr. Spider-Man. Most of you guys already know me. I'm going to do from top to left to right. So we also have Justine with us here. So thank you so much. Give a nice warm welcome to Justine. Thank you, Justine. We've got Lizzy with us once again. Thank you so much, Lizzy, for joining in. We've got, I want to say like Princess Kristen here. I mean, honestly, everybody's a prince and a princess here, but she's specifically wearing like a crown thing for those of you listening on Spotify. Kristen's back once again. Thank you, Kristen. And we've got Kay joining us. Thank you so much, Kay, for joining in and bringing your energy. And of course, we've got Joshua back once again. Thank you, Joshua, for bringing your mystical self to this broadcast. And we've got Robert. Speaking of mystical characters, we've got Robert here back once again also. So thank you, Robert, for joining us as well. So that's who we got on air with us. And again, all the creators that you see on tonight's broadcast, be sure to connect with them. That's a big part of what we do when we do these broadcasts. They're practice. They're us coming together and collaborating as a team, creating this space where we synergize our energy in this circle. So make sure that you connect with them. You'll find the links to their content, to their Instagrams in the information for this video in YouTube after the broadcast, but we'll also do our best to post it into the YouTube chat during the live broadcast. So be sure to connect with them and follow up and check out the amazing things that they're doing there as well. So with that said, we'll get into a little bit of a meditation, then we'll get right into the core discussion, cultivate that inspiration, finish it off with a little meditation at the end, and from there we'll wrap it up. And we'll probably keep this one, if we can keep it within like 90 minutes, we'll try to do that as well. And yeah, thank you again everyone so much for being a part of this broadcast. Please feel free to tell your friends, and yeah, let's have some fun tonight. So happy full moon again, once again everyone. So let's get ready to just do a quick little meditation. So just inviting everyone to get nice and comfortable, and if you're able to do so, go ahead. And once you've gotten yourself comfortable, we're just going to close our eyes and we're just going to kind of like visualize ourselves in this circle to be able to help set the intention, to be able to help anchor into our heart space as we move into the discussion for today. So just inviting everybody to get nice and comfortable. And when you are ready, go ahead and gently close your eyes. Just allow yourself to connect with your breath. Just feeling this familiarity. For many of us, we have shared this space before. For some of us, we have been new. But even just through the intention of connecting with the breath, we find ourselves arriving into a familiar space. A familiar space within our body, a familiar space within our heart, a familiar space within our spirit. And so as you gently breathe here, feel free to adjust your posture, straighten up your spine, open up your chest, relax your face. And we'll just bring our awareness into our heart space as we just take a moment to be able to reflect on gratitude, bringing this gratitude into this moment. Gratitude for yourself for showing up. Gratitude for this community. Gratitude for this space that we are creating together. Gratitude to all the individuals who are making this circle. And so just take this opportunity to just imagine all of us just sitting in a circle. And maybe you can imagine we're like sitting in a circle, like under a full moon, around a bonfire, even on a beach, or out in a field, or in a yoga studio, or in a temple. And as we sit in this circle, just allow yourself to look around, to see these faces, to see this family, to see this soul tribe, to see this team. And just allow yourself to be able to express your gratitude in this moment, to express your appreciation for the unique fractals of yourself that you see sitting across from you. All of these people who are passionate about helping make a difference in the world. And so in this moment, I'll stop talking and just allow yourself to speak from your heart, to speak words of kindness, to speak words of inspiration, and to allow yourself to even receive anything that comes into you in this moment that will nurture your spirit, that will inspire you, kind words through the collective voice of the circle. So just take a moment here in this moment of oneness to be able to just connect with those of us who are here, even those of us who are tuning in the future, and just feel this love, feel this intention, feel this inspiration, feel this magic. Continue here for the next few moments. Just gently breathing here, allowing yourself to just be able to tune into the beautiful full moon energy that bathes us, that basks us tonight. Just feeling the excitement cultivated within this space, allowing ourselves to tap into the energy of celebration, the unique expressions of source that we are. And so in this moment, just allow yourself in even just like a short phrase to be able to communicate something to the group here, to the circle here, and you can type this into the chat. What's one thing that you want to say to all the people here, something to inspire their spirit, just like one sentence. Reflect on that right now. Beautiful. And so as we get ready to move into this circle discussion, let us hold this image within our mind, hold it within our heart, and we'll carry it with us. We'll carry this intention as we continue to synchronize, to synergize the mind and the heart, the body, the soul, the spirit, all of it. And so from here, keeping this gratitude in our heart, slowly as you continue to breathe, bringing the awareness of the breath with you throughout the discussion tonight, gently, we will begin to bring our awareness back to our physical body. And when you're ready, as you continue to breathe, slowly wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, gently opening your eyes and returning your awareness to the space around you. Beautiful. Welcome back, everybody. For those of you in the YouTube chat, please feel free, if you want to share the little phrase that you came up with, please by all means go ahead and write that into the chat, and we'll keep things moving along here. So awesome. All right. Thank you again, everyone, so much for being here as we get ready to move into tonight's core discussion for our Synergy Circle. So, spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian. This is a topic that I'm very excited to be able to have together as a community, since it is such a primary part of what this project is about. And again, what this project is about, yes, it literally is about bringing people together who are passionate about being able to assist with the shift in consciousness, something you hear me say time and time again. But within this is also an opportunity for us to be able to align ourselves with an archetype, and with that archetype, there is a story. One of the most powerful things that we can give ourselves is a story. And this is something that I know a lot of people can kind of talk about in different ways. I'm excited for particularly Joshua. I know me and you could riff on this all day long. The idea of the myth and the mythos and our living mythos. And even when we were going around the circle within our meditation right before this, I'm like getting like chills just as I'm talking here. And again, that's all we're doing here. We're just practicing talking from the heart. So I'll practice talking first. And just to get a heads up, who wants to go after me? Just raise your hand just so I can get an idea on the quick order. And then we'll pass it over to Joshua. And then from there, the next person will just figure out the order as we go. So again, one of the things that I was just thinking within the initial meditation of the circle was this idea that your light is the story of your life. And with this, it is this idea that, we are all expressions of the same light, but we are expressions of the same light kind of refracted through the uniqueness of the prism of the body that we are. So you can think of the body as like a literal crystal. And if you've ever done that, you take a light and you shine it through a crystal and it kind of like refracts like a rainbow, right? So it's kind of like we are that, but the refraction of that light, the way it casts onto the surface, like that's what we are. And that the way we cast onto the surface is the way we kind of like shine our light into the world. And so it's this idea of really being a light guardian is a lot to do with honoring the unique ways that you are here to shine your light into the world. We are all here to shine our light into the world, but we're all here to do it in different ways because we are all unique versions of crystals, of prisms through which the light shines through. If that makes sense, go ahead and drop an 1111 in the chat just as like a quick little metaphor, because again, that's I think that idea in itself is a very simple but powerful way of being able to just kind of like understand and honor what it is that we were doing. And so the idea of the mythos of the light guardian, I'll just kind of share this real quick. And again, this is something that for me, the term light guardian kind of came to me many years ago, and obviously there's the term light worker, and we have like many variations of this. We've like people talk about like star seeds and indigos, and they're all awesome, they're all great. And again, I think what's powerful is when you find a title that you can associate with adding power to your identity. Not something that you necessarily like attach yourself to, but rather something that helps hold up your why, helps hold up your purpose, and helps give you something that you can align with that propels the motivation and the inspiration. It adds a collective inspiration that brings you into a bigger story. And so the mythos of the Light Guardian, I'll just share this real quick and then I'll pass over to Joshua. Again, it's basically something that came through me, and I'm not taking credit for it. It's also just an extension of my own kind of like creative ideas and everything. But you know, it's more or less like a modern day version of a Jedi or a gray Jedi. It's also kind of like this idea of, you know, like a modern day version of like a wizard, like someone who is a bridge between worlds, who is bringing magic into this world. And so the basic mythos of the Light Guardian is this idea that the context of the Light Guardian, or again the concept of the Light Guardian and a shifter are kind of like one and the same. We use the terms interchangeable, but the basic idea, if I were to tell this as a story like around a campfire, it would basically be this story that throughout the many millennia and across the infinite planets, there has been the archetype of the Light Guardian that has always existed. And throughout these cycles of time and space, when the shadow looms, the light rises. And the Light Guardians are those who are there to be pillars and stewards of the light, to be able to help others see the light within themselves, to be able to stand for things that they hold true to their heart. And so that's what being a guardian is about. You know, we hear the term light worker and we also hear the term light warrior. And I think light warrior is a very powerful term as well. And we have to be very particular with our language. The concept of warrior often kind of gives this idea of fighting something. You're kind of like against something. And it's not always that. I think it's layers to it. But the context of a guardian is this idea of standing, of what do you stand for? What do you stand with? And so this is this idea of being a light guardian is also the invitation for you to be able to think, what are you a guardian of? And so within today's day and age, we're seeing a lot of these things happening in the world where there's clearly, you know, like a lack of this and too much of that, and injustices here and a lack of consciousness there. So being a light guardian is, again, you know, being able to see the light that is all around you and then being able to choose how you wish to hold it up, how you wish to be able to bring more of it into the world. And so being a light guardian is being able to change the world through the power of courage and compassion, is courage, compassion, and creativity, I would say, quite simply. And so again, we are light guardians through the way that we share our art. We are light guardians through the way that we inspire others, through how we plant seeds, through how we intentionally shift consciousness. And that for me, and I'll just say this, I'll pass it to Joshua, is the journey of the light guardian, much as a Jedi is someone within the story of like a Hollywood movie. But again, much more than just that. If there is like something that is out of balance, the Jedi is called into action. When the world is at peace, the Jedi is still. But when the world is out of balance, the Jedi is in action. And so the Jedi, which literally means pillar of light, I'm just gonna get a couple more people in here, and welcome to AP, and welcome to, we also got Pleiiades joining in as well. So I'm just gonna riff on this just for a couple more seconds, and then we'll pass over. And thank you guys for your patience. I just want to be able to kind of like complete the process of the download that's just kind of like coming through here within this moment. So again, you know, like being a light guardian is something that I invite people to be able to see themselves as, and not even just something where it's just like, oh, you're just kind of playing a role, but it's actually the idea that being a light guardian is something that is already inside of you. There is the seed of the guardian, the seed of the light warrior, the light guardian, the Jedi, whatever you want to call it. And so with this, there is the awakening of a purpose. There is the awakening of a calling. There is the awakening to a bigger story. There is the awakening to being able to see themselves as playing a pivotal part within this collective shift in consciousness, knowing that each and every single one of us together has the ability to create a ripple. And when we collectively create those ripples, that's when waves are made. And so the journey of the light guardian is coming into their own actualization, their own embodiment, to be able to bridge like their higher conscious version of themselves, the 5D version of themselves, the superhero higher dimensional version of themselves, with this 3D physical version of their their body as well. And in the process of doing so, they are awakening the consciousness within. They are making the unconscious conscious. They are bringing love. They are transmuting. They are alchemizing. They are creating. They are literally inspiring, spire, to ignite the flame, to ignite the light, and to nurture, to water, to tend to the seed within others. And that's the power that each and every single one of us has. And that's why I'm so passionate about being able to invite others to be able to see themselves as light guardians, because I think right now a lot of people, they've been told an old story, and this story is often a story of disempowerment. It is often one saying you're unimportant, this is your life, pay your taxes and die, sort of thing. But here we are with this alternative story to be able to say, no, we are here with a grand mission. We are here from many dimensions, from many planets, from many timelines, in this epic story, to be able to come together, to be able to transform the world, to be able to share our love, to build community, to evoke synchronicity, to alchemize, and to be able to become who we are meant to be. And so when we talk about the concept of the light guardian, more or less, that's basically just another way of saying become the actualized version of the reason why you came here to be. And so this is very powerful, and this is something that I'm so excited to share tonight, and we'll keep passing it around, and I'll share some more stuff later. And thank you again so much for everybody for joining in. I hope this conversation helps you go through your own process of reflection, be like fuck yeah, I'm a light guardian. Why? Because I choose to be. It's within every single one of us. If it's within me, it's within you. If it's within Star Wars, it's within us. It's a microcosm of the macrocosm. It's a reflection of consciousness, carrying an archetype that is so freaking badass and awesome and creative and loving and caring and strong and gentle and balanced and masculine and feminine. It's like the all-encompassing like potential of what we can be. But being a light guardian doesn't even mean that you're like the top of what it is that is your potential. Being the light guardian is the journeyer. Like, it is literally just being able to kind of like set out on that quest. Like, you level up as a light guardian. You don't have to like wait until you've got everything figured out to consider yourself a light guardian. You can choose to be a light guardian much as a Jedi can choose to become like a Padawan and can choose to take that step on your journey. So if you're taking that first step on your journey of thinking of yourself and seeing this bigger story of where you stand as a light guardian, then know that there is like that continuation through time where you are already in that place where like that actualization has come into a crystallized form, and you are ready to be able to help step into your role as a leader, step into your role as a creator, step into your role as an entrepreneur, as an alchemist, and all these other words that we use to explain the amazing ways that we create. We are the dreamer awakening within the dream, and that's part of what this story is about. So like I said, I'm super excited to be able to talk about this. Let's keep passing the talk and stick around. And if anybody has to jump out early, please go ahead and let me know. Joshua, we're going to pass over to you, and who wants to go after that? And again, if that inspired you guys in some, that's why we're here. Like, we're literally here to talk about this so we can inspire the light guardian within each other and then carry this out into the world to be able to continue, because there's work to do. The light guardians aren't just here to like party all the time, but we are here to celebrate. We are here to dance. We are here to transform. But again, you know, we're having this conversation to be able to help spark the flame and to keep it lit and to ignite it across a bigger wave so more people can see themselves within this story. Who wants to go after Joshua? Just go ahead and raise your hand real quick, and we will pass it over to you next. Lizzy? Okay, yeah, we'll pass it over to Lizzy and then Kristen after that, I think. Okay, Joshua, let's give a nice warm welcome to Joshua. Joshua, thank you so much for joining. Go ahead and you can introduce yourself at the start and then share a little bit of the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian from your perspective.
Thank you so much, brother. That was a beautiful introduction. Can you hear me okay? Sweet. Cool. Yes. So, I'm Joshua Blake Faust, and I've been on a journey for many years of becoming the light guardian and embodying that archetype within myself, in which I've gradually come to understand the nature of the hero's journey as it relates to the timeline of our progression of gradually realizing the prism of that self, that crystalline essence of the seed within us, in which, you know, this is such a multifaceted conversation. By the way, let me put up my multifaceted crystalline thing. And it's interesting because approaching the conversation of what it means to be a light guardian, and what is the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian? it brings up many threads. First off, what is spiritual wisdom and where does it come from? So there are many times during which Brendon was speaking that we were both accessing the same consciousness field of the collective consciousness inside of the. He was saying things that thing because all of we're always channeling all the time. The wisdom is coming to us and through us from the field. This is just like in Star Wars. The Jedi is trained that actually exists. Way secret of that story, and by the way,
Joshua, we're try just turning off your video just so we can optimize the audio. I think the bandwidth is a little choppy. So if you can hear me okay, just go ahead and try turning off your video real quick.
magician in Egypt and Matt power of the Jed, which is the pillar.
Yeah, Joshua,
Okay, can
just
you hear
go.
me better now?
Yeah. There's just been like, yeah, go ahead and switch that up and go ahead and keep continuing.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, I think it will be. Go for it, dude. Yeah, where you left off, the
All
idea
right,
of
what
like
did I cut out?
the power of the Jed, just a little bit before that.
Okay, cool. So this is a deeply an understanding of the power of the Jed, pillar of light within our body. It's also known as the Kundalini or the central. And this is our magic staff. This is the rod of Horus. This is Hermes' staff. This is the primal understanding of magic, is that you're learning to cultivate the life force inside of your central channel. This is the understanding of yoga. This is the understanding of hermetic alchemy. And the Jedi, or the light bringer, the light guardian, is one who is in direct communion with the life force and with the field, and can translate energies and frequencies from higher consciousness, knows how to work with the energy and translate that into actual action here in the world, here on earth. So we are these pillars of light between earth and sky. You know, heaven on earth is a verb. It is something that we are creating as we tune our jet, as we tune our central pillar, as we become the light guardian. So wisdom is something that already exists within all things, within the web of life itself, within our own embodied aspect, our avatar state. Activate those codes that are already within your DNA. And I call this the divine design. It's the idea that all of those archetypes and all of those things inside of your true mythos, they're already inside of you. They're just waiting for you to wake up to the reality of who you truly are, what you came here to do, because your mission is already there. So we hear the term star seeds, but really everyone is a star seed. Everyone is a spiritual being having a human experience with a unique seed of life inside of them that is a part of a much larger garden. So I like to call it also that we are the guardians of the garden, or the guardians of Gaia, because we each, as every one of us, is stewards of something very important, and it was the gift for which we were made to fulfill. And by doing that, that is being a guardian of the light and truth, actualizing the potential for which you were born, is the greatest activism you can possibly do on the planet. It is the spiritual activism. So the guardian of the garden, the light guardian of Gaia that we are, is each and every one of us. We're stewards of these virtues, of these new paradigm values that we're stewarding in. And this is a multifaceted understanding of what it's basically like a map of consciousness that we've gradually come to understand. We've been helped out by many higher dimension angels, other us's up in our star family, and along with the elemental spirits and the fairy kingdoms. And like, we're doing this work on all the levels simultaneously, just waking up to the reality that we're all creating the same thing. And so I like to bring it back to, like, what does it mean to be a guardian? What are the values of virtue? Or as Peter Fay and I call them in the Mythica, the round table virtues, the virtues of the round table. Because it's the idea that, for example, when one realizes that true royalty is not connected to class or status in the classical sense of how people think about it. It's connected to the realization of your divinity, and that each and every one of us has a responsibility of a steward, a true queen is in service to the land. Bring it to what does it mean to truly steward in these values of virtue? What does it mean to stand for the round table, the circle of life, the collective consciousness, to truly move from the me to we and balance in between? Because in a certain sense, the solutions are only born because of the contrasting experience of what is out. So, in a sense, we've all been landed here as these seeds in the garden of Gaia to sprout and bloom a new paradigm, responding to the distortions that are going on in the world to bring about and create something new. So, bringing it all the way back to where Brendon started with the crystal, the prism, the idea that the pure light of spirit is shining through the crystal of you out into the rainbow of the world, and you are the vessel for shining that light. It's if that light is who you truly are, then is not the crystal the character you play in the story of life. And so then what does it mean to discover the true facets of your prism, of the true facets of the fractal that we all share? Because if it's the idea that it's already within you and there is no separation, then it is already within all of us. We are all picking up on the same thing in the field and translating it in different ways. So bringing it to that crystal, if that light is who you truly are and it is already there and it wants to come through you, then what is stopping it from clearly shining through you? What does it mean when we talk about blockages or shadows or distortions? What is it? What is it a shadow of? What is it a distortion in comparison to what? And so I feel that the values of virtue, of like righteous conduct and how we respect and regard each other when we say like we are all one, that's, I mean, that's a great idea, but to actually live that is like living your spiritual truth as a guardian of the light. That is a yogic practice that it's like every single day, every moment to moment to moment to moment to moment is what is the way that am I actually being my true self right now, or is the light inside of my prism being painted by a shadow, painted by trauma from my past lives or my childhood? Am I really seeing myself for who I am? I really, able to appreciate all of the blessings around me, or can I not see them because there's a smudge on the prism? Because if you take that prism and you look at it like a lens, like that pure light of spirit that's coming through is like the light of awareness looking through a lens. It's like the camera lens of you for the spiritual being that is your true nature looking into the world through you. Then it's like if there's a smudge on your lens, you cannot see the abundance that is already here. So heaven on earth is already here. All of the solutions for the new earth are already here. It's already in the field. It's on a certain level beyond this 3 to 5D and beyond expansion that we're experiencing. In a certain sense, it's already done. It's already guaranteed. It's already been written. And on another level, we are intimately a part of the writing of the script inside of this story. What does it mean to play the ascended version of the game of life? What does
Joshua, I'm just
it
gonna hop
mean
in
to
real quick.
anchor
Sorry, not to cut you off, Joshua. I was just gonna say, just time wise, if you just want to kind of like in like 1 minute, just kind of like wrap up this point, and then we'll keep passing it around. Not to cut you off, dude, because I know
totally.
We could talk on this all night. So
good.
all good.
That's all good. Yeah. I'm just bringing it back around. Cool, no problem. Yeah. So just to bring it all back to round, it really is an exploration of what it means to embody the virtues of value and that which clears the distortions and the shadows from our subconscious. For when that happens and we clear the lens of our perception, we can see the true nature of what it means to be a guardian of the light, a guardian of delight in the garden of Gaia. Thank you.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, dude. I like that. A guardian. Oh, hold on. I just have to unmute myself for the people talking. There we go. Now you guys can hear me. I like that, Joshua. A guardian of delight. I've never, for some reason, that never crossed my mind or something before, but very cool. Awesome. Joshua, thank you so much for sharing. And again, for those of you looking to connect with Joshua, I highly encourage you to do so. Joshua Blake on Instagram, and we'll post a link for that in the show notes as well. So, Joshua, looking forward to hearing more from you as we continue this discussion. We'll keep things going along here. We're going to pass over to Lizzy, and then Kristen, did you want to go next after that? And then we'll pass over to Pleiiades, who is on air just for a little bit. So, Pleiiades, thank you so much for joining in, dude. Honored to be able to have you with us here in the circle. So, Lizzy, we'll pass it over to you. Let's give a nice warm welcome, and go ahead, Lizzy, when you're ready.
Yay, thanks for having me, and thanks everyone for joining as well. I love going after Josh, but yeah, this new moon, I would say, or this full moon, this moon cycle, because um I guess the transformation, like I just feel so much more calm, like since I mean, I remember when I found you guys in like March, and like my life was kind of chaotic, not gonna lie. Even though, like, on the outside, it still pretty much looks the same. A few things are different, little things, but to me, like, internally, and like this peace that I'm like feeling now after finding my tribe, and um just people who like share about the same things that I share about, and like especially transformation, like this transformation of this new moon really showed me that like I'm supposed to help others with like transformation, really, and just I feel so solidified um in that knowing, and it just feels so good, and like to me, like that's really like where it started, was like I just found myself feel like I've always been a writer, so a lot of my reflection comes through in my writing, and um, so I would just say like, yeah, at the very beginning, like they call it the awakening, I suppose, but it just feels like one big awakening, even though it's been happening for like years now, you know. But and I have to commend Josh again as well, like the way that um he like speaks in fractals, and I guess we call it like light codes, and he but definitely for me, especially learning um the language, I guess, of the universe, which is energy, has been so beneficial. And then I guess to ground that point a little bit, um especially for those who like are at the might be at the beginning of a transformation, it might be at the in the midst of a transformation, um is like how do I, asking myself like how do I really want to feel, or at least most of the time, right? Because sometimes going from where we are to where we want to be, it can seem like a big jump, but I think all the wisdom that you beautiful light guardians are going to share tonight um, is really like a good, I guess, jumping off point. But like also where you are right now is so good as well. And yeah, I guess your inner being and your connection with your own inner light. Oh my god, it's so loud. Sorry. Um, is is a really a good place to start. And that's all I'll share for right now. I'll let Kristen go after. Thank you.
Beautiful. Lizzy, thank you so much for sharing, and happy full moon again. And yeah, we're going to keep things rolling along here, and let's keep pouring the wisdom forth, and everybody just go ahead and just take a nice breath together. I feel like we could all just kind of use that. So just take a moment here, just kind of breathe, and then we'll pass over to Kristen. So if you guys even just want to take a moment, just kind of like close your eyes, just go ahead. Like I'm not even going to guide you through it. Just go ahead in your own inner guidance. Just take at least a couple breaths here. Beautiful. Just keep that breath with you throughout the discussion here. Being a light guardian is also understanding that what you need is already here right now. And sometimes what it is literally just the breath. So Kristen, we'll pass it over to you. Lizzy, thank you again. And then from there, we'll pass it over to Pleiiades. And then from there, we'll figure out the order after that. So let's give a nice warm welcome to Kristen. Kristen, go ahead, briefly introduce yourself and share what is the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian from your perspective. Welcome, Kristen.
Absolutely. It's lovely to see all of you beautiful, beautiful souls. My name's Kristen, Pinot Grazing. You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And I'm just really grateful to be here with you all. I know it's been a while since we've gathered, and it's just a true honor and blessing to be able to share these spaces and to hear each and every one of your beautiful perspectives and stories. It's always so beautiful. So, being a light guardian to me is all about being able to understand the the light and the dark and being able to see what it is that you are standing for. And for me, that was being able find my authenticity and see what is real within my life and standing up for my own inner truths and being able to help others stand up for theirs and being a divine reflection to shine that light back into others' lives so they can see their own divinity and just really being able to see that you have a purpose, you have a reason for being here. Your essence is beautiful and unique and special, each and every one of you. And finding that is a journey in and of itself, right? And then being able to kind of stand up for that or shine it or, encourage it in others, whatever way works for you. But I know for myself, that's been a lot of the journey and being able to sit in spaces just like this, being able to share our voices and share our souls with one another and encouraging others to do the same is part of doing the work, and for me it's like I've always tried to look at work as a fun thing anyways, but really being able to see that like you are here to shine and be yourself, and it can be fun and it can be work, and it's allowed to be both up and down. It's beautiful no matter where it is along your path, but just seeing that exactly where you are, no matter how you're holding your light, is being a light guardian, and it's good. So, um, I don't know. I feel like I could talk a lot more about it, but I know we've got a lot of other beautiful speakers here, and I want to be able to share the space with you guys. But I'm just so grateful, and I hope to be able to encourage each and every one of you to see the light that lives within yourself and to be able to express it freely without judgment or expectations, but just being able to show up for yourself and for others. So, love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much, Kristen. And again, like with the community that we have here, one of the joys that we get to be able to experience is being able to see each other grow, and like for each and every single one of you, being able to see you kind of like again grow as this embodiment as light guardians has been such a humbling experience. And again, it's kind of like been this journey of kind of like pulling back layers and kind of like stepping out of this. It's very much like a butterfly stepping out of a cocoon phase type thing, and as magical as a butterfly would expect it to be, like each and every single one of us. And that's where again, you kind of there's different ways in which we can kind of like visually and physically kind of like present ourselves as the light guardians that we are. But I really encourage people to kind of like get into that style where they're like dressing out and dressing up. And so Kristen, thank you for bringing your authentic self to the circle tonight through the expression of your elf ears and your beautiful like headpiece and everything like that. And again, for everybody here, if you guys even for any of the broadcasts and stuff like that, like bring in that like physical extension of who you are again, and not even as something that it's like dressing up, but you're like dressing out. It's an extension of the unique expression of your soul, of who it is that you're here to be. So with that said, that segues nicely into Pleiiades, who again wears it well. And Pleiiades, thank you so much for being here tonight, brother, and we'll pass it over to you. And please feel free to introduce yourself as a light guardian that you are, and go ahead and share the wisdom. What does being a light guardian mean from your perspective, or what is the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian? Welcome, dude. Go right ahead.
Wholeness and gratitude, brother. Thank you for the space. Thank you for creating this portal, for allowing people to communicate, for allowing people to receive and express simultaneously in a very intentional space. That right there is a very vital part of being a light guardian, is allowing spaces for people to come together to co-create, for us to be able to increase each other's energy and our synergy through inspiration and literally all of the principles that you've been building all of your work off of. And just want to personally honor you for that on behalf of the vessel that I am, and also all of the aspects of divinity that see through the eyes of this as well, that the ancestors, Mother Gaia, Father Sky, all of this work is incredibly received, incredibly honored. On behalf, obviously, of you for putting it together, and everyone for being here, everybody for spreading their light, everybody for spreading their energy, and everybody tuning into it, receiving it, listening to the podcast and all the platforms I'm sure you share this on. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of open up the space with honor and gratitude, because that's I can't not, like, that's kind of where my consciousness goes. And yeah, so I go under the name Pleiades, Ple, three I's, Ades, and that's pretty much how you can find me everywhere. You might have to correct the Google algorithms, but you type in Pleiades.com, I'm there. And I do a great variety of things in the creative endeavors, but my core, my vegan bread and butter is music. I enjoy channeling the music of the spheres. That's definitely the core of who and what I am in this incarnation, and how I chose to stylistically express my light in this personal path. And then, that being said, the where that's kind of expanded is I wanted to have music festivals and places to perform in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people that were based off of integral principles and pure and everything, and couldn't find too many, so I started making them. And it's called Source, Sacred Organized Union to Realize Collective Evolution is the organization. So it kind of was just music festivals at first, but now it's kind of become like a movement, organization, retreats, stuff like this. And the reason I share this is because that's really like where I've been leaded, is like my personal, like, what wakes me up is music. Everything's music to me. I hear sounds that, like, my breath. I mean everything's music. That's how I function. And then, like, gathering people together and allowing people to find what their personal expression is. That's where my objective purpose is. Like, my subjective purpose, that I'm a musical being, whether I'm sitting on the beach or whether I'm in the studio making music, or making music on the beach to bring into the studio, or just walking down the street, or literally anything. I could go on forever. Anything that you can possibly do can be brought down to rhythm, and rhythm is what music is based off of. It's just a certain codes and the patterns that make up reality, and you can really just understand things through that rhythmic state of being. So that's like my passion, and they kind of go hand in hand, is finding your passion, finding what it is that you align with, that feels the most natural for you to express, and then to give your full energy into that. That's one of the foundational principles that I've kind of built my life off of, is like, when you finally find what it is that you feel good doing, just give your everything into it. And here's the magic: if people are like, yo, if what if I picked the wrong thing? Well, you're gonna find out. If you put your all into it, then you're gonna find out, because it doesn't feel that resonance. Over time, it'll start to fade. But if you just forever half-ass it, what if, what is, paralysis by analysis, you ain't gonna get nothing done. You're not gonna get your answers. You just gotta commit to what it is that you're doing devotionally. And then that's when you receive that energy back. And these principles are really essential for being a light guardian, because we can't just waste all of our energy all the time in non-reciprocal energy exchanges. That's not sustainable, and we're just going to be in a state of constantly needing to heal ourselves. What good is that going to do for anyone around us if we're in a state of like, oh, I know all these things and how to heal you, but at the same time, I literally can't even go to Walmart without having a panic attack right now, because I need to go in my fucking room and just like integrate. And that's where the real work comes in, is just like making sure that you're in a space to hold space for others. And then kind of like manifesting ways that your energy can be received, and honoring your own energy. A big thing is being in your light. So being in your light doesn't necessarily always mean just being a people pleaser. Doesn't mean just like trying to shoot people with positivity. It's emanating your true state of being. And your truth, that's what's going to inspire people. And a lot of the times it's what's going to move people. And sometimes it moves them in a way that doesn't feel good, but that's going to allow them to integrate it later. And in a situation where, say, let's say you're in a human example, you're just walking down the street with somebody and you're just talking with a friend, a coworker, a friend, something like that. And then you're just having a conversation with them and realize that y'all got some pretty different morals and some stuff, right? Let's say that they're pretty old paradigm with a bunch of things that they kind of got in their consciousness. And then you give them a different perspective that kind of shits on all of their paradigms with what they were holding on to in that scenario. And then when you recognize that, rather than having that people pleaser instinct of like, oh, I want them to be positive right now, I don't want to create conflict, I'm going to tell them what they want to hear. A lot of people do this type of stuff unconsciously. They don't even know that they do this. They don't even know that they lie. They don't even know that they, you know what I mean? When you start to really look at your actions and stuff like that, you're like, nah, what is it that I do? Nah, this is my stance. This is where I'm at. This is just my truth. I'm going to just say this, regardless if they blow up like a teapot or not. I'm going to say my truth. And then they're usually going to be like very defensive. Well, not usually, it's different for everyone, but if they're defensive, right? Let's say in the worst case scenario, they're like very, how dare you say that? And then they're just like, whatever, aggressive and stuff like that. Then, like, say weeks later, you could get they'll come back to you, they'll be like, hey, yo, remember that conversation we had way back? Remember when I blew up on you like that? I apologize, man. That was you really showed me something right there. And that's what being a light worker is, man. Light is information. Light is truth. Source universal truth, undistorted, unadulterated, unfiltered truth. That ain't gonna affect people in the best way all the time. In the human vantage point. Being a light worker is seeing it from the wide view. It's like looking at the stock market from the 10-year span instead of the 10-minute span, for goodness sakes. You'll see, but if you go scope out, you'll see that although it's chaotic, it's moving up. It has a progression, it has a scale, it has a pattern. Everything in life has that pattern, it has a purpose, and everyone in their unique path is exactly where they're supposed to be at. And these are all just reminders. I was just kind of freestyle and flowing with this, you know what I mean? I like on many of us here, if not all of us, I could flow with this stuff forever, quite frankly. But the last thing that I will say in terms of like principles that I've really grounded in, that have kind of like just given me a framework to be able to share ways to embody this state of being with others. And like my whole thing is like I play the role of like the sharer, who does a lot of the talking, because that's just I fit those shoes, and what am I going to do, ignore that? You know what I'm saying? But like in doing that, I receive a lot about what is for my journey, and what I've kind of like mutually learned through this training thing is the Jedi training. And that's an acronym that I've put. It's just joyful energy displaying integrity. And just really quickly, the whole concept of that is like, these are the 4 essential totems of like grounding in heaven principles on earth. Is one question, like a question for each one of them, like joyful. Is what you're doing and what you want to pursue in life from a state of joy? Is it from an intrinsic state, a drive within you? Is it joyful state of being, or is it an extrinsic motivation, something outside of you that's driving you? If it's an extrinsic driving force, it's going to be unsustainable. You might see success in it. That's what you could do, that for sure, but it's not going to be sustainable. Eventually you're going to get to your 40s, 50s, 60s, have an existential crisis, and it's not going to be too groovy. But if you're going from an internal state, you're straight, pretty much. And then second one, energy. How are you cultivating your energy? How is your energy cultivation practices being brought into your creative endeavors, your spiritual business, your way to financially sustain yourself, whatever that is? We need to eat. We need to have a, place. Showers are nice, man. We don't need them, but come on, we're shower people, man. Showers are nice. It's good to have good hygiene. Like all these little needs that we need taken care of, we need to like not pretend that we're not in the physical form. We're bringing the spiritual stuff into the physical form. So how can we do this in a way that aligns with our spirit and doesn't get corrupt? And then I'll say that at the end, with integrity. But that's energy cultivation. So that's things like meditation. That's things like spiritual practice. That's things like sadhanas. That's things like real Jedi training. That's things like just spending time with Source. You know, it doesn't have to be some fancy jazz. It could just be literally sitting with your eyes closed and just focused on Source and focus on what you want to visualize in life. Energy cultivation. Then displaying the D of Jedi. How are you displaying your God-given gifts? How are you going out into the world and actually doing something with all this gifts you have, for goodness sakes? We're all so talented. We're all so freaking beautiful and have so much vibrancy inside of our spirits. What are you actually doing in terms of the actions that you're doing in this plane? We're not here to just be spiritual beings. We're here to have this physical experience with all of the spirituality that we bring forth through our awareness in it. And then the last thing is essentially integrity. Not only how are you obviously having integrity with what you're doing, but how are you establishing systems of making sure integrity is maintained over time? Those are the types of thoughts people need to be having when they're building systems nowadays, is how do you ensure that, like, if integrity were to be like, how do you make sure that it has a fail safe? You know what I'm saying? And that's really like accountability. There's a lot of principles that, you know, go into this. These are just the basic ones for each one, but basically like accountability, having multiple people in delegation of like these principles. And this also goes into like, when you understand gene keys, human design, you know, not just like tropical Western astrology with the 12 zodiacs, but like the you know, the other astrologies that take into consideration the sidereal and all of the constellations, all these ways to understand ourselves. When we get like a council of people that are like literally representing each star system and stuff like that, we could truly have like the grid of the planet within the human archetypes established. Like when you understand who you truly are as a human being and what our capabilities are, we could really start to work collectively more powerfully and do some really healing things to the planet very quickly. And that's pretty much what I end this on, is essentially like being able to have a knowledge of yourself to be able to be a person embodying the organic principles of reality. This isn't something I made up. This isn't something none of us made up. This is just interpretation of organic principles of reality. And like, it's what our true nature is. It's what our instinct is. So that's why it's going to be so sustainable, is because when we remove all the things that keep humans out of their natural state, they're going to be in their natural state, and they're going to be like, hey, you think this way? Oh, I think this way too. Oh, you feel this way? I feel this way too. Oh, you want harmony for people? I want harmony for, oh, that's groovy, man. That's pretty simple. Oh, I thought it was going to be this whole, like, we need to have political different systems to counteract every economy, and all the XYZ logical mind is like, nah, man, give me a fucking hug and feel who I am and feel this energy. And that's, you know, you already know, that's how we change the world. But that's a little bit about I mean, and also before I hop off, I actually do Jedi training, like for real, every day. We're on day 30, and you could be a part of it. It's I'm actually kind of basically giving it for free right now if you go on my page and you're trying to do it. And I'm even offering like free tickets to it's called a crystallized gathering, consciously representing universal source truth to automate living in 0 point energy. It's an acronym for crystallize. And it's in Mount Shasta, California, from August 6th to August 9th. That's our next gathering. There's going to be 4 days of Jedi training, workshops, music performances, raw vegan food, meditations, Kriya yoga, Kundalini yoga, all types of different asanas, breath works, vendors. I'm missing a lot. I'm just trying to hop off here. But if you're interested in that, like Pleiiades with the 3 eyes and stuff, and it's all on you can find it all on my Instagram page. That's where I have all the links, like kind of neatly organized. I'm working on Pleiiades.com, and then I got sourcesanctum.com that's got most of the source stuff. So that's why I said my page has all the links and all that good jazz. But yeah, appreciate y'all allowing me to spirit rant, and for receiving, and for expressing. Thank you to Brendon for cultivating this space. Thank you to Brenton Culleton for cultivating this space. Truly, it is quite groovy.
Thank you too. Thank you too, fellow Jedi brother. And yeah, man, love just being able to have you add your energy here. And I know you're jumping off in a minute to be able to facilitate some more things for the community. And thank you.
There's literally an event being set up like as soon as I open this door in my house. I live at like a community center. We're doing a sound healing rapé ceremony tonight. And I think I'm doing a little bonfire for it, like in the backyard. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna
and
start in a half hour, so I do got to kind of prepare things. But I do appreciate being able to hop on here and just like give a little
yes.
energy, receive a lot of energy. Y'all are beautiful. Everyone who expressed, truly, y'all are amazing. And in the ones who didn't express with the words, your energy, I could feel it through the screen. Keep doing your thing. Y'all are shining.
Yeah, man,
Y'all
and
are shining.
thank you again for leading the way and helping facilitate the space. And whether it's whether it works for today or another time, I'd love to be able to give you the opportunity to share even just like a little bit of your flowetry or any quick verses, even just as like a closing thing. If you feel you got an extra 30 seconds to do
Yo,
so now, yeah,
this song from
give
like
people a
4
quick
years ago.
sample.
The album came out yesterday. Have an epiphany off a trip to me blissfully. Now I'm differently recognizing my synchrony, vivid imagery, and my mental proximity. I'm keeping consistency, symphony of all this symmetry. Have the ability to lyrically kill up a village so brilliantly, but really my perspective here is ugly. And lately I don't want nobody but me. So sunny run and come see what a cup of tea is. This discovery and summary. You know that I'd be covering conspiracies, divinities that I receive. Will see with these. Don't skip a beat. It's one of my idiosyncrasies. Peculiarities are such a rarity. Society's a parody with sheep that are parakeets. Similarity is not the remedy. We need some new propensities to achieve an innovative clarity. These humans just need some enlightenment, all this entitlement in their environment, making their primal so vile. I need a reprisal to switch the direction of spiral, suicidal to revival. The Bible is losing all of its disciples. Reach a new high note, travel for miles just to see that you're living in a cycle. Discrimination is a concept just like the objects, they do not exist. Nothing is separate. I hope this gives you perspective, reflective of expected skeptics from this domestic detective. Bestow direction encrypted in all these poetics, interdialectic, intergalactic, but diplomatic. Even with all of my antics, I'd see that life is my canvas, and I hope someone on earth understands this. That was like 4 years ago now. So some of the lyrics I don't really resonate with, but like as soon as you said that, those words came to me. So I was just okay, old ass verse coming out, I guess. But
Oh, that's awesome,
yeah,
dude.
man, I love
Well,
flowing G.
thank you for being a part of this collective journey of knowing ourselves, and thank you for just like embodying yourself to the best ability that you can. And we're learning and growing every day. And dude, I look forward to meeting you in person when the time comes. And yeah, thank you as always, and you're always welcome here. So brother, have an awesome, wonderful event tonight, and much love to you and the fellow light guardians you're going to be vibing with. So thank you as always, brother.
Likewise, my brother.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you all. I love you all. Excited to connect, and may source be with you all.
Source be with you.
Namaste, beloved soul fam.
Beautiful. So for everybody here, be sure to connect with Pleiiades. Again, you can find them on their Instagram, Pleiiades with 3 I's. So basically it's spelled PLEIIADES. And again, you'll find that in the show notes for today's broadcast. And yeah, definitely go check out their music on Spotify and join in for some of the Jedi training early. It's like an early morning meditation thing that they do. I think it's either at like 5 or 6 in the morning. So definitely feel free to check it out. Send Pleiiades a DM. And yeah, we'll keep things rolling here. There's a lot to be able to talk about, but we got some amazing people to be able to add their voice to the conversation. Special welcome to Kelly, who joined in recently. Welcome, Kelly, as well. And yeah, we'll keep things rolling. So who wants to go next? And again, we'll make sure that we'll go through everybody. Kay wants to go next, and then we'll open it up to just kind of, again, like open popcorn style. I know we literally could, this could be another 5-hour broadcast, but we'll keep it condensed, we'll keep it crystallized, and we'll give everybody an opportunity to just kind of like spend some time decompressing with this beautiful full moon that we got here tonight. So feeling those vibes riding high, cultivating the inspiration. And Kay, with that said, we will pass it over to you. So Kay, thank you so much for joining. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Kay. And Kay, go ahead, you can briefly introduce yourself. And yeah, please tell us, what is the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian from your perspective? Welcome, Kay.
What's up, everyone? Yeah, so just to start off, what that guy said was totally epic. Jedi, joyful energy displaying integrity. That's just epic. I'm gonna keep smiling from that the whole rest of the night. Like that was just totally epic because I loved Star Wars and Jedi and like the whole archetypal energy of being this hero, this great person of great energy. Like that was totally awesome. Where do I begin? There's so many things I could possibly say that are in my energy field right now. I'll start off with this. My journey, I'll start with my name first. My full name is Khadija Akbar Ali. I grew up in Toronto, Ontario. I also have a twin sister, if you believe it or not. Most people don't know that about me. But yeah, growing up in my family, being a person of color and a person that came from a family of great religious background, it was very challenging to feel different things and perceive different things, and have to like start to learn to feel okay to stand aside from that and be different. And so my family, I grew up in the Islamic tradition. In my family, we had many imams, like many priests and such. And learning the Quran and learning how to pray and learning all this kind of stuff was a big deal. But for some reason, in my spirit, it did not resonate at all. And I would always enter into the mosque and not feel fully safe, fully comfortable. I didn't like how men and women were separated in the mosque, and how you couldn't even really touch or hug an imam. I remember by accident being in mosque somewhere in Toronto as a child. I ran up to an imam and I went to like kind of tug on his shirt and ask him questions. And all of a sudden, all these adults were like, "Hey, wait, you can't touch him. It's haram. You can't touch the imam." And I was like, as a kid, I was like, "What do you mean I can't touch the imam? Like, isn't he just like me? Are we not connected to the same source? Like, what's up with that?" And as a kid, I was like, "No, this is not for me." And despite my family being heavily integrated into the Islamic community, they do a lot of great work. They do a lot of work raising money for homeless people and providing meals for families that are struggling and such. But I could not, my spirit could not allow me to continue down that path, that legacy that they had created. And as a young child, I felt pulled into paganism. I got pulled into Wicca type stuff, like learning how to connect to elementals and just the natural elements of nature and stuff like that. And I did it secretly. Nobody knew. I don't even think my father knows unless he's watching this now. Now he knows, but nobody knew. And I had to learn how to be okay connecting to that inner voice, that inner energy that was telling me there's something more to life than just these religions, than what they've told us, these narratives. There's something more, because this great mystery, this magnetic field, this great energy was pulling me in, like this grand attractor was pulling me in to something greater, something more interesting, something more mystical and magical. And it got louder and louder as I got older, until I couldn't quiet it. I had to succumb to it. I had to surrender to it and fully step into it. And unfortunately, that meant that at some point I had to leave my home. I had to like go and get a job, pay my own way through life, and survive, and just kind of go on my own journey and trust that I'm going to be supported, I'm going to be protected every step of the way. When I needed money, when I needed shelter, I had this feeling like something will happen to help me on that path. And so I didn't really allow myself to succumb to like the negativity or the worry or the fear. I just knew that something was protecting me. I've always felt that energy, and I think a lot of you can probably resonate with that on your journey. That you just feel this warmth of this love of beings around you. You can't necessarily see them, but they're there. And I think for a lot of people who proclaim themselves to be light warriors or spirit guardians or light workers, like they connect to that energy of the spirit guides and other beings being around them that are protecting them and guiding them on their journey. And I think that's probably one of the most sacred parts about awakening, to realizing that you are this light seed being that has chosen to come here on this journey for a specific reason, is knowing that like you're not alone. Even if you feel alone within your family and things feel like really negative and heavy and you just feel isolated, like you have no support, there's always support that's there. I guarantee it. I don't care anybody thinks. The support and the love is always there if you allow it and if you believe. They cannot help you if you don't trust in that energy and in that love. As soon as you allow yourself to trust that the support is there, it will show up for you. That's one thing that I experienced on my journey, going along this path. And then as well, growing up, I always tell people when I start talking about this journey of being a light worker or being a star seeder, just being this different kind of soul on the planet that doesn't necessarily fit in to the human experience, is I always questioned reality, questioned our societal infrastructure, our narratives. And I would piss my dad off asking so many questions. He'd pretty much be like, "Shut the fuck up. Like, stop asking so many questions." And I just knew that the current reality we were experiencing as a collective wasn't the best that we could do. I would stare at our cities, our roads, and I would ask myself, like, this is the best we can do? And these adults say that I have to trust everything they say? And we clearly see that we're causing a harm to the environment and to plant, into animals and plant life. Like this is not right. Something's wrong with this. And I think like for a lot of starseed light workers, a lot of their journey starts off like that. They just have this innate feeling within their spirit that something is out of alignment, and that kind of unfolds on that beautiful journey. For me at this point in time, as an astrologer, I do astrology as well. If anyone's interested in the chart reading, you can get in contact with me. I'm giving out free readings at this point in time to help people on their journey. But in 2018, a lot of us astrologers were telling people that we were getting to the end of our initiation period as starseeds, as light workers, and that a good chunk of our life before this moment in time was a preparation, initiation process to prepare us for what's coming in the future. And that message was really, really loud. It came in really loud for a lot of astrologers in 2018, especially around Uranus being in Aries and shifting into Taurus. We felt that warrior training of that energy that we got with Uranus being in Aries was concluding. And the message that I have for a lot of people tonight that I want to share is, if there was any moment in time that you need to shine and speak your truth and stand in your light, it's now. It's what's happening on the planet right now. Because my belief is that a lot of us, including one of my favorite people I follow, Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters on YouTube, I'm sure a lot of you guys follow him. In 2018, a lot of us, including him, he made a video, I didn't make my thoughts public, but we felt something big was coming. We felt the collective consciousness of planet Earth reaching this critical mass, reaching this pinnacle where things were going to really start to shift very quickly in a positive way. We all felt it. But then in September 2019, within a few days, like myself and Ralph Smart and a couple others, we said, uh-oh, something's coming. We didn't know exactly what it was, but something really big was about to go down, and we felt it in our bodies. And then lo and behold, a few months later, we're in a pandemic, we're in this great collective global shutdown. And it felt like some entities or beings on this planet were using whatever means to shut down our collective from reaching that critical mass. That's what it felt like. I don't know if any of you resonate with that. If you do, chat it on YouTube or in the group. But that's what it felt like for a lot of us. And then it's like, and it came down to the point where like, okay, we can get pulled into the fear and pulled into the negativity of all these narratives of them trying to pit vax people against unvax people or whatever these things that are going on. We can get pulled into that, or we can be the love and the peace and the resilience and the courage in the middle of that storm. And last year I found myself being an activist having to be silent for the first time in a long time. My spirit guide said, it's time to observe and just be silent. Like, there's a lot of things that can be said, there's a lot of things that can be done, but right now they told me, like, we need to let things unfold. There's not much we can do for others who are in the beginning stages of their awakening process. We have to just continue evolving in ourselves and strengthening ourselves so that we can hold greater space for these people. So with the protests that we've been seeing around the world with BLM, protests around Indigenous rights, and all kinds of things that are going on, people have their differences of opinion. But from my perspective, I see a lot of people who are in the beginning stages of their awakening, finally finding their voice, finally finding the courage to hit the streets and work together and unite and make their voices louder. And I think it's a beautiful thing. A lot of people look at the negative, like, oh, some storefronts got smashed in or some whatever the hell stuff was going on. But I think the greater picture is that regardless, the biggest thing here is that regardless of them trying to shut down our collective consciousness, we're still evolving, we're still uniting, we're still working together, we're still trying to find ways to support each other and to continue the movement. So whatever is happening on the planet with these people, trying to shut down our collective consciousness and people, some people believe in the narrative depopulation. I'm not really sure, we don't have full evidence for that, but regardless of whatever negativity may be happening, we're still transcending that. And one thing I like to remind people is that human civilization has survived through many catastrophes, from Lemuria to Atlantis, many pandemics, all this kind of stuff, and we're still here, and we're not going anywhere. Like, we're a resilient species. We're gonna get through all this stuff. And I think for a lot of lightworker people, this is your time to shine. Like, this is your time to step into your courage and your light relentlessly, believe in it, because we need it. We need each other. We need to believe in that fire. We need to believe in that strength and come together. And one of the biggest things that a lot of light worker people are talking right now within my community is finally showing the world an alternative way to be, which is what Buckminster Fuller talked about. You know, we need to make this old archaic system that is already showing itself to be weak to be obsolete. And the best way to do that is to build it. And I think a lot of people in my community, in the light worker community, is they're talking about building sustainable communities, building eco villages, building our own alternative ways to grow our food so that we can secure it for ourselves, because we are not codependent. They created for us to be codependent. That's actually not who we are. We're sovereign beings. So we can house, clothe, and feed ourselves and provide our own energy. We have all those means to do it. We just need to go ahead now and do it and show the world what's possible. So I invite everybody who is in that energy, who wants that same thing, to start connecting to more people within their cities. Create town hall meetings. I'm going to be creating a platform called People Uprising. We're going to be launching it in maybe like a month and a half or so, depending on how things go. But the whole goal is to finally really walk the talk. You know, we know what's possible in terms of building eco homes and growing food and alternative energy, alternative clothes, shoes, everything. Now we got to show the world what it's like. And I think now's the time to do that. So I think that's pretty much the main message I have for everyone tonight, with the full moon being in Capricorn, being surrounded around work and really doing your soul's work. I think that that's what I'm working on with my community, aside from other healing technologies and methodologies like astrology and Tesla PEMF technology, which I'm also into. It's also about showing people a different way to live. And a prime example we saw of that is Jacques Fresco with the Venus Project. He brought a lot of great ideas to the collective, not saying that that's the end all be all and that's the perfect solution, but we had so many great minds that have brought us the inspiration and the ideas, the seeds. Now we need to plant those seeds and watch it grow. So across Canada, like, I don't know if all of you are located in Ontario or Canada, but across Canada, there's thousands of people that want to get the hell out of the matrix and get off the grid. And I think there's enough of us that want to do this for us to be able to like pull it off and buy land and start building. And I'm really, truly confident if we can show people an alternative way to live, they will begin to see that the way they're living is enslavement. And it's not allowing them to express their true soul self. They're being oppressed in ways they don't even understand yet. Once they see people living in a peaceful environment that's supported, that's healthy, clean, you have your like non-toxic housing, you have your organic food, you have filtered structured water, you have all of these things within in a community, and surrounded around people who genuinely care for you and support you and want to see you shine, they're going to be like, what the fuck am I doing living in this shit? Like, I don't need to live in this. I can live in a community like that. Why not? And then they're going to start imagining new things. And my partner often talks about this concept of vision casting a greater vision for the future out to the play, and not being afraid of that, and not letting anyone like shit all over it saying, oh, it's not possible. It's like, okay, that's fine. I don't need to argue with you. You can have your opinion. You can think it's not possible. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to my belief and my hope, and I'm going to take the action to build it. And if you want to join me later, you can join me. If not, it's all good. At the end of the day, like, we're here to like show humanity that there's a better way to live and there's a better way to be. And I think a lot of you are doing a lot of that great work. I don't know a lot of you personally, but I think we are going to do some pretty kick-ass shit in the next decade. And I'm really excited to see where we're all going to be in the next 10 years and the work that we would have achieved. I think it's going to be freaking awesome. So I'll just leave it at that for tonight.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you, Kay, for speaking your truth and bringing the fire. And yeah, I was feeling so much inspiration from everybody here tonight. And again, like, this is a big part of it. Like, literally us having this conversation is, again, us just kind of like getting ready for the work that's ahead. And with this full moon, a lot of the energy has kind of been like, with the retrograde, there's been a lot of like recalibrations, and now we've kind of like taken all this energy, condensed it, and now we're ready to kind of like blossom it into the next round, into the next chapter of the work that is still ahead. said. So again, you know, like being a light worker, being a light guardian, it involves a sense of duty, it involves a sense of responsibility. But as Kay said, I think what's really empowering in this is knowing that we have come here for this purpose, we have come here for this mission, and this isn't something that we're like trying to give ourselves some sort of like grandiose kind of like bigger than thou ego sort of narrative or something like that. But it's like, no, this is actually something that is like drawing back from the roots of service, from the roots of humility, from the roots of wanting to be able to help people live a better life, to help them live a way that is closer to the heart, to help them reconnect to their own truth, to their own nature, to their own spirit. And I think that's what we're seeing here in the world. And I'm just going to talk and we'll pass over to Kelly, where again, you know, like there is this very much like this yin yang thing happening in the world. More and more people are waking up, and equally so, more and more people are falling deeper asleep. And so this is something that is taking place like right now. So as much as we can continue to kind of plant seeds for the people that are still kind of like waking up, we also need to be able to connect with those who are, again, also in the process of creating that new world. And that's where absolutely building these communities online and in physical locations is incredibly important, incredibly vital for the next like several years like still to come. And I've said this before, like things within this reality are only going to get like weirder and weirder and weirder, but within that weirdness, it is also going to get more magical and magical and magical. Like the word weird, again, rooted in the etymology of like relating it to magic and everything like that as well. So yeah, this is, again, this is a calling. This is something where it's like, you know, all hands on deck, all light guardians on deck. We've got work to do. And again, the work that we're doing is nothing less than being your authentic self and connecting with your heart. And so if you can connect with your heart, and then through the process of doing so, be a beacon for others to be able to help give themselves permission to find their way back to their heart as well. And that's where the solutions will naturally arise out of the process of finding our way back to our heart space. And we'll just kind of take it one step at a time from there. So we don't have to kind of like have like this, like, oh my God, we have to think like, you know, like 50 steps ahead. If we can just kind of help people reconnect to their heart, which is, again, I think the core of what being a light guardian is about, then it's helping them connect to like that intuition, that intuitive knowledge, that connection with spirit. And it's becoming more obvious that more and more people are literally like becoming separate from their spirit. Not that that can literally happen, so to speak. Maybe it can, maybe it can't. But it's like there's like garbage between them and their spirit. There's barricades, there's dirt, whatever you want to call it. There's junk. So again, it's kind of like helping use the light to kind of like blast away the illusion, blast away kind of the facade, blast away and hack the matrix, and help them kind of like see the world in a new way, to show them what is possible. And again, what is possible is also, again, where we can help them see it through the power of the story, where it's like, if someone were to just tune into this conversation, they'd be like, whoa, there's other people who actually think like this, who actually talk about like metaphysics and spirituality and aliens and the future and all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff. So let's keep things going along. We got a lot of momentum here and a lot of inspiration. Kelly, we're going to pass it over to you next. And then Ren, we'll pass over to Ren, and then Justine, and then Robert. And then from there, we'll see where we're at. And we'll get close to, again, we'll make sure that everybody has a little bit more time for some closing thoughts, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up. Kelly, thank you so much for being here. A lot of you guys know Kelly. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Kelly. Kelly, you can briefly introduce yourself and what is the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian from your perspective? Welcome, Kelly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly. Kelly the Lamb on TikTok, and KL Lamb on YouTube. As well with that, it's really awesome to be here. I'm a light worker, as well as an energy worker, as well as an intuitive consultant. And with that being said, it's been such an amazing, but yet such a long and short year and a half, it seems like. And especially this last month and a half, I don't know, it felt like retrograde lasted forever, in the sense that, you know, it was really, I loved your video, Brennan, about on TikTok. It's like, it's just so much. And it is such an amazing transformation we're all going through. One of these things that we're coming to learn is that, you know, everything is a varying scale. Everything is valid within these universal principles that we're all sharing together as one, collectively, and learning together as one. And it's been very testing. I feel like the energies have really tested me, at least in these last couple of months. And really being a spirit guardian has really been about holding on run to the seat of your pants and getting ready and not knowing necessarily, all right, we're just going to go with the wave, ride that wave and ride it as well as we possibly can. And that's what's really given me the peace, is finding my center in all of this, in this reality, and finding the love. And through everything, even having to go through the pain, the ancestral work, all of these different layers and levels of myself, to be able to assist the collective consciousness at this time. It is not necessarily always an easy thing to be able to be in this wonderful world present all the time, because there's so many different things that are always going on. But now we're getting to a point where being present and building this, new tomorrow, this new reality in real life, which I really love what Kay said in regards to the eco villages and everyone really trying to transition out of the 3D society. And that's what it's all about for me right now. I'm working with students. I'm going into the more eco-friendly villages, trying to create a collective that myself, help to build a new tomorrow. And if we all come together, it doesn't have to be one person's idea. We all just come together, throw our resources in, and it'll essentially be a new world. And that's why I would love to speak to Kay after this. And I would definitely love to speak to everyone in regards to this new, beautiful world that we're living in. As for that, anything else that has really been wonderful is, just the idea of being able to be in a new paradigm. What does that really mean to be in a new paradigm? There's so many words to explain where we're going, and there's so many different realities that we all can choose from, but it all comes from the heart, and it all comes from what we want as a shifting society, someone that consciousness shifting. What that means for us is working as a collaborative force, because I don't like to put things in dark and light. I don't think that's fair. I definitely would love to see that, like, we get away from that paradigm of, awake and asleep, dark and light. All of that kind of is an illusion to the real purpose behind everything. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all unifying through that state of flow with the one and only source, the source of all creation. And that is within all of us, every single one of us. And that's what it means to me to be a light guardian. It's being able to have this flow with you guys on a regular basis, even though I might not necessarily be able to be there with you in person at every single moment. I am there with you through my love, and always thinking about all of the collective conscious together as we make these shifts. So thank you so much for having me, Brendon.
Thank you, Kelly, so much for being here and for bringing your energy. And yeah, again, it's kind of it's a beautiful thing that within this community we kind of have this process of, like we create this space to be able to gather, to be able to synergize, and then we explode out into a million different fractals, and we go off on adventures and journeys and travel over mountains and go into dungeons and find new treasures and meet new characters and wizards and start new villages and stuff like that. And then it's like we may not see each other for a while. Like it's just like it may like literally be like months and months and months, and then suddenly, like, just knowing that this space is here for us to come back to is part of the reason for it, for people to be able to go out onto their journey and to be supported in doing that journey. Like here within this community, like all I ever want for people is for them to do what's best for themselves. And so if that means kind of like taking what you need from this community and then venturing off and then coming back like 2 years later, and it's like, hey, like, we're good to see you again, like that's a big part about it. And I think, again, being a light guardian, part of the big part of the spiritual wisdom being a light guardian is surrounding yourself with other light guardians. And again, I use the term light guardian. When I use the term light guardian, it's just kind of like my way of referring to like that specific part of the mythos, which we already talked about, which is, again, kind of like this role of duty, this role of call to action. And that does exist within the other aspects and the other titles. So really, whatever title that you resonate with that calls you into your purpose is totally fine. And part of the reason why we also use the term light guardian is because I really like to be able to kind of like cultivate that like badassness of the energy. It's like, yeah, it's a guardian, it's a superhero, and that's a big part of what it is that we do here. Like like here within this project, it's like Mystic Spider-Man literally bringing together a global team of real world superheroes and ultimately doing it in a way that's about being able to help people see the superhero within themselves. So I'll just say this real quick and then we'll pass it over to Ren. And Ren, if you just want to confirm that you're ready to go, please go ahead and let us know. And even if you're just typing in the chat, that's totally fine. There's Ren. Okay, perfect. Where again, you know, like a big part of the spiritual wisdom of being a light guardian that I want to be able to help bring to the table, bring to the surface is very much, again, I mentioned it earlier, but this idea of like being dreamers awakening within the dream. So when we realize that this reality is much more malleable than we've been led to believe, it also leads us into a deeper understanding of our potential within it. And so being a light guardian, I've talked about this before, but it's like one of the strengths of being a light guardian is understanding the strength that you already carry. So it's understanding that like your power is innate to your being. Your power is in your ability to be able to change this world through your intentions, through energy, through words, through thought, through art, through intention. And so with this understanding, with this knowledge, this is where we find our power. And this is where, again, you know, for me being a light guardian, once upon a time, it was really about being able to like go out there and do free hugs and engage with community. And I'm still totally open to that possibility within many different aspects of this reality. But again, you know, the light guardian is also one who is adaptable, who is flexible, who finds infinite ways to be able to shift the paradigms. If something gets shut down, the light guardian finds another way. They find a way to be able to overcome and to kind of like hack through the matrix, as I've kind of talked about before. So there's so much about being a light guardian that even I myself continue to learn each and every single day, and it really is just something that we continue to learn together through the support that we create with community. And again, being a light guardian is the journey of knowing yourself and helping other people do the same, and like I said, helping lead people back to the wisdom and to the light within their heart. So let's keep things moving along. And Ren, give me a thumbs up if you're ready, and then we will pass it over to you, and then from there we'll pass it over to Justine, and then Robert, and then from there I think that may be everybody. AP, I know you're in here. AP, if you wanted to share, go ahead and let us know, and then we'll get into some additional chit chat, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up, again with the intention to just kind of keep this broadcast relatively under 2 hours. So let's give a nice warm welcome to Ren. Thank you so much for joining, Ren. Feel free to briefly introduce yourself and share what spiritual wisdom do you hold about being a light guardian. Welcome, Ren.
Thank you, Brendon. Okay, now my laptop's yelling at me. I've honestly missed all your faces. I feel like it's been so long, and yeah, I just was really happy to be here with you all and to listen to you all and honestly see new faces. That was really cool. And I appreciate all of your inputs. It was like really fascinating to hear new versions of things. Being a light guardian to me is, I think Kristen may have mentioned this before, and kind of being able to help people realize that life is not just all light, or that it's not just all dark, depending on the person's experience. That, you know, there is no darkness without the light. There is no light without the dark. You know, you come from the darkness. You're born in the womb, and it's pitch black there, and you gain all that you like from your mother that you need to start to come into this world and be healthy. And I feel like a lot of people like sometimes confuse that, and they think, oh well, I have dark aspects about myself. I get angry, I get jealous, I get sad, I get depressed, and they think that they need to turn it off. They think that it's something that is not okay for them to experience. And instead, I think what being a light guardian is showing people that all your emotions, your feelings, your experiences, like your thought patterns, is normal, and every single person is going to have a different story based off how they were brought up. And to be able to stand in your truth no matter how you're feeling is what is going to be able to inspire others. I think Pleiiades said that. And when you're more in tune with yourself, you are speaking from authentic truth. You are just being yourself, whether that is even showing the darker aspects of yourself that you think others will judge you for. In fact, that may be you being exactly who you are, may be the exact thing that someone needs in their life, you know? So I don't know. That's why I think being a spiritual or like a light guardian is to me, is just holding that sacred space for others, whether that be dark, light, because it's all the one. It's all intertwined. You can't exist without your good parts or your bad parts. And yeah, that's how you inspire others. And I've been seeing that shift on this planet like a lot more recently. A lot of people who, I don't like to like give people labels, but that whole more being unawakened are actually starting to realize, even if they don't dwell with the term spiritual yet, they're feeling something like churning inside themselves. And they're like, what's going on? Like, why am I starting to feel more things, like feel more empathetic? Why am I having these dreams that I'm like astral traveling? And it's because a lot of people said, like, we're getting to the point in time where we, every single one of us in our own different ways, it's not all going to look the same, are meant to awaken in this lifetime as human beings in one form or another. So yeah, I've just had toxic people, and I'm like I don't like using that word either. I've just had like more negative people throughout my life, and I've noticed that when I started to own up to my power, I started to speak up for myself. I started to let go of that emotional baggage and that anger I had. A lot of these people started to drift away from me, and they would kind of come at me and like give me problems. And I was like to my mom, I don't understand why, if I'm feel better now than I ever have, if I'm exuberating joy, if I'm actually like working through my things, why I'm getting this. And my mom said to me that sometimes people like to drag other people down when they see them in a happier place, because there's something that is unaligned within them. And so the more that we can align ourselves and inspire others, we're going to have to forget about those people that may not, see us in a good light, because not everyone is going to be for you. And regardless, you standing in your authentic truth, being who you are, is going to inspire others, regardless of if you're going to get a letter or a confirmation from someone about it. Like, just know that most people don't like to always say what they're feeling to others and go their way. However, they are learning from you, they are observing, and they are cultivating these ways that from you that they're seeing into their own life. So yeah, that's what I think being a light guardian is. And just be true in yourself, like no matter what. Like I said, like don't be afraid of like your darker aspects, or you're being too optimistic or too happy, because like I said, you might be the exact person that someone has been looking for their whole life. And yeah, just be you. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Thank you, Ren. Lovely to see you as well. And yeah, again, just kind of echoing some of that. That's a big thing that I always bring to the concept of being a light guardian. Is, I talk about this idea of it being like a Jedi, but more so than anything, it's more about being the gray Jedi. Because again, being a light guardian, from my perspective, it's really about encouraging people to be real, whatever that means to you. But that really is about being able to, again, not be necessarily like afraid of the darkness, but to be able to have the will to be able to step into the darkness, knowing that it is you who carry the light. So even in the darkest of dark, you do have light because you are light. And so again, within that, it's also understanding that, again, you can't have shadow without light, you can't have light without shadow. And so being a light guardian is not someone who just kind of like avoids or I mean, there's avoid isn't even the best word. It's not someone who kind of like creates fabrications of things in an overly positive way. This idea of and we've seen this before. A lot of people are just like, oh, like screw the conscious community. It's too love and light. And again, I think that's like one end of a spectrum, and I think those perspectives and everything are valid. But at the same time, I'll just say this real quick, and I'll pass over to Justine. One of the things about being a light guardian is about being very clear on how you use your energy and where you put your energy. And I think, again, being a light guardian over time is about being able to navigate your boundaries, being able to communicate your boundaries, and getting very clear about the energies that you are interacting with and accessing in your space. And like I say this from my own experience, again, like for myself, there's a lot of people online through the world who connect to me and who are interested in connecting with my energy, and out of not because I'm trying to be like a jerk or anything like that, but I literally cannot like give my energy to every single person who requests it. And in the same way, I wouldn't expect you to do that as well. So it really is about being very particular with where you put your energy, and very intentional and considerate, but also making sure that you're considerate for yourself. Because again, like there was a time where I, as a light guardian, I'm like, oh, I gotta help everyone, I gotta help everyone, I gotta help everyone. And then it's just like, man, if you literally do that, like, you will burn out, you will crash, and then you won't be able to help anyone, right? So it's like, being a light guardian is about being like a laser over time. It's being very precise, very particular, being able to wield your light like a saber, like a sword, and to be able to strike and to guide and to cut and to pierce and to lead with intention. You know, like, that's when you think of like the light guardian, again, going back to the Jedi mythos, you can think about this idea of the lightsaber. And the lightsaber, again, as much as it can be used as a weapon, it can also be used as a tool, and it can also be used as a torch to be able to help kind of like point the way. So how do you choose to use your light in various circumstances? Being a light guardian doesn't mean being a pushover. In fact, being a light guardian means, again, standing in your truth, standing in your integrity. And if people like try and like bring you into a space where they try to like berate you and take advantage of your energy, like, you as a guardian of your own energy have every right to be able to say, like, this is not for me and I am walking away. And that doesn't make you a bad person. Again, you know, it's a time and a place, feel it out, be as considerate as you're able to be, but at the same time, you know, like, be very particular, because with the world that we're moving into, how we focus our energy is going to determine the ways in which we manifest within this reality. So let's get good at, again, just kind of being like very honest with how we are relating to the world around us. And again, a lot of that is also, it's the inner work and it's the outer work. It's a balance of the both. So let's keep things passing along. And Justine, I am more than happy to be able to pass it over to you next, and then Robert, and then anybody else after that, and then we'll just kind of do popcorn style. So let's give a nice warm welcome to Justine. Happy full moon, Justine. Welcome back. And when you're ready, go right ahead and do the thing.
Happy full moon, everybody. Hello. It's been a while. I'm Justine. I run Awakened Aligned. I recently, actually, over this huge, intense, like Mercury retrograde eclipse energy, I like completely reconfigured my business and reorganized and did a whole bunch of stuff. And even as somebody who normally like enjoys Mercury retrograde because there's like medicine in the disruption, um, this was a tough one. And so I just want to honor that for everybody, because I haven't met anybody who like didn't have a rough go of it the last couple of weeks. And I just think it's really important to take some space and say, like, good job, everybody, you made it, you're still here. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you got a chance to practice holding the values and habits that are important to you. And here we are, full moon in Capricorn. I can actually just about see it out the window in front of me. So it's like just fallen dark where I am. Speaking to Brendon's point about all of us having to hold our energetic boundaries and let go a little bit of the desire to help absolutely everybody, I think it's so important that we, as light guardians, or however you choose to identify yourself, in doing the work of helping people wake up, in helping people find alignment. Now you know why I changed my name, because I realized I repeat these two things all the time. You know, we have limited energy capacity in these 3D human meat sack bodies we inhabit. So it's super important, as we focus ourselves on, you know, not just manifesting a better life for us as individuals or for our close folks, but actually to do that work for the community as a whole, that we also recognize that it takes a village, it takes a community to support the global community. So every time someone else new wakes up and starts doing the work and starts sharing these questions and messages, that's actually more help. And I think especially it can be hard when you've been doing the work for a while to be like, oh my gosh, there's more people doing the work. Is there space for me? And in my corporate life, before I really dove deep into spiritual work, one of the things I learned from a management consultant was actually we need to stop thinking of life as a pie or a pizza where everybody can only get so much, and the more slices you take, the more you get, and then somebody else gets less. We're actually able to grow the pie, and this is one of like the biggest mental traps logical fallacies that we all live in as part of our collective cultural conditioning. So as we're doing the work of helping people wake up and helping ourselves and the people around us find the medicine in our shadow, find the valuable things in our struggle, in our pain, right? You go to the gym, you work out, you're sore. That pain is what makes you stronger, actually. And you can also grow without being in pain. Not that I'm a personal trainer, because I'm not, but you don't necessarily have to be sore to know that you're getting stronger. But sometimes you're going to be sore, and you can know for sure in those moments that you are getting stronger. So, relating all this back to spirituality and being a light worker, I just think it's so important that as we do the work in full embodiment of all parts of ourselves, that we don't allow ourselves or the people around us to bypass any part of our experience, because when you bypass something, you're rejecting yourself. So even if it feels like, oh, I want to bypass and not talk about this trauma, this pain, this hurt, this conflict, whatever it may be, whatever you leave alone will fester. Okay? So it's much better to talk about it, communicate it, process it, have a journaling practice, go to therapy, whatever it is for you that allows you to like clean out your wounds and build that scar tissue up and be stronger and wiser going forward, to say, wow, I don't need training wheels on my bike anymore, but I do have that scar to remind me, or, whatever metaphor works for you. It's so important that we honor all parts of the process. And I guess what gets me coming back to doing the spiritual work all the time is realizing that everybody's on a different path in our journey, and we all have different journeys. And so I love using really complex tools like human design. That's my personal jam, along with like a smattering of tarot and a whole bunch of stuff I picked up just being like an aggressive corporate aspirational person for too long, working in tech, and just like the level of efficiency that's required is pretty high. So I have some good skills from there. But the reason I pull it all together is because I think it's so important that we like actually take all of it and distill what makes sense for us, what makes sense in our own bodies and our own experiences, and realize that we're each having a unique experience, good and bad, light and dark, spiritual and non-spiritual. It's all part of this beautiful, ephemeral, mystical human experience. And I just send so much love to all of you, wherever you are on that continuum of experience and self-discovery. And honestly, it's Rob in here I had a conversation with a while ago, where it was like, yeah, you got to have some self-discipline and show up for yourself with your habits and make sure that those habits are supportive for you. So, that's just one example of this community being like a healthy, I feel like call out isn't the right word, but like an inspiration of like, hey, be better to yourself. And I think that's what it's all about. So always super, super excited for any questions anybody has. If you want to shoot me a DM, I actually have my TikTok DMs like open, and I just like block anybody who's creepy. But you can find me at awakened.aligned on TikTok and Instagram. And my new website, awakenedaligned.com, all one word, is finally launched. I literally published it like 5 minutes before getting on this call. So super, super open and excited to hear from anybody who wants to talk about making those conscious lifestyle choices, talk about human design, or just like talk about life. Like sometimes it's just like, man, I wish I had somebody to talk to who gets it. I joined like a running group recently for this, and I think it applies to everything we're passionate about in life. So yeah, I'm here, I'm holding space. I'm excited to meet any and all of you, excited to see faces new and old today. And yeah, sending you all so much love and passing the metaphorical talking stick to, oh goodness, I've forgotten who's next.
Well, I'll do a quick little segue.
Hopefully Brendon knows.
Okay. Justine, thank you again. Congratulations on the launch of the new aspects of your project. And yeah,
so much. I'm excited.
Likewise, and again, like a big part of being a light guardian and being a community is celebrating the unique ways that we show up in service, and that's a big part of what this community is created for, is creating it as a nexus for different creators to be able to come together and to be able to say, like, hey, this is how I'm helping shift consciousness, this is how I'm helping assist people, heal people, facilitate, create, inspire, motivate, and all of these unique ways that we share our superpower, share our light into this world. So yeah, super excited to keep this conversation going. Justine, thank you again so much. And for those of you looking to connect with Justine, post a link into the YouTube chats and we'll put that into the show notes as well. And again, awaken.aligned on Instagram. So we'll keep things rolling along here and we'll just be mindful of the time. We'll wrap things up no later than 10:30 that way. So that gives me time to hang out with Lacey tonight, since she just got home from work like a half hour ago. So we'll keep things, we'll keep the party going though with between this and all the other things that we got going on within the community. I'll just mention it here real quick, just opposed to plugging it right at the end. We do have our Light Guardian Global Team Meditations every Friday at 10 a.m. EDT, and we do have team meditations. Sometimes they're 10 a.m. on earlier days in the week, but not always, depending on the schedule. But definitely make sure you're connected to the Discord to be able to tune into those. And we have our Paradigm Shift Circles Wednesdays and Fridays, and those are a non-recorded voice-only conscious conversation through the stages in the Discord server. And Friday's topic tomorrow at 1 p.m. EDT is, what is courage to you? Or what does being courageous mean to you, or what is courage to you? So again, a continuation of some of the themes that we're talking about here tonight, and just creating a safe space for us to be able to practice sharing from our hearts. So with that said, we will pass it over to Johnny. And real quick, AP, if you want to share, just go ahead and type into the chat. I think that's Keyway. If you want to share, feel free to let us know. You're always welcome to. And Johnny, with that said, we will pass over to you. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Johnny. And Johnny, feel free to briefly introduce yourself, and what wisdom about being a light guardian would you like to be able to share tonight? Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Johnny Bloom, lives on Instagram, and man, it's hot in here. Hi, my name is Roberta, and I only come out on the supermoons, and I love cranberries and crepes. Oh, how I love crepes and cranberries. And don't forget your strawberries. Love strawberries. It's a strawberry supermoon. So for me, being a light guardian is just, just trying to, keep a strawberry lipstick state of mind while I work through the fires of life. And, okay, bye. And I'm Johnny Bloom, and I have a channeled message. Johnny Bloom, the high vibe healer, bringing lots of laughs, transmuting stuff and things into joy, and channeling messages. So here's the message I channeled right before coming in here. So what I think of when I think of a true light guardian, someone who obviously embodies their light and guards it, while in doing so they recognize that it is their light in their space under their own protection, and realizing that all other lights may give you ideas and inspiration and guidance, but it's up to you to do your discernment and measure how much energy you have to be able to take the next step forward with not too much on your plate, and working with what you have and who you are in that moment, and being the best person you can in that stage of life. There may be other people who may shine a little brighter, and maybe a few people who don't shine as bright as you, but you have a certain amount of weight that is brighter than someone else's ultimately, and that's what needs to be realized. To be a light guardian, to be the brightest version of yourself. And if you think of it like space, you may be the big bright star someone may be wishing upon, and then in turn they are wishing upon another star that is brighter than you, than you further out in existence, and that star slash person may be wishing out upon their star, and understanding in itself that we ourselves could be the planets that cause other people's periods that feel just like retrograde, and whatever other cycle there may be, like the moon cycles as well. We go through cycles, smaller cycles, with people because we are closer together in space. So if you think of it in a smaller spectrum in comparison, but the same to the structure of the cosmos and the planets and how they work, we're in a space where the energy is moving much faster in our physical closer spaces because we are closer together, but the energy is exactly the same, and building more room to shine. We have our own atmospheres and absorb what comes into our spaces and use it to our greatest good to ultimately shine even brighter, to become as big and grand as the sun for all to enjoy, knowing we have a huge power inside of us which truly needs to be balanced. So day to day as a light guardian, we take our next baby step out of our comfort zone and figure out what it is that is dimming our lights and healing those parts of ourselves so that we can shine brighter, and in turn we then become the example that we want to see in the world and bring their bring their bring the information and healing to others as well, so that we can raise the consciousness of the universe. This this one is within all of us, this universe that is within all of us, that we can take care of, and take care of this planet so we can continue our lifetimes to be played out in the most healthy way possible, preservation of the lands that which our souls incarnate on, to continue this great, grand, repetitive journey. So that's it for the channeled message. My true name is Robert Mayhew. I am the owner of Grateful Soul Clearings, and I work in the Akashic Records, helping others release past and present life karmic patterns and energy attachments. Because, sometimes a fight is not a fight, a promise is not a promise, a breakup or divorce is not just a breakup or divorce. Any series of negative events is not just a series of negative events. There are energy attachments, and you may be able to become aware and transmute all that you can that's happened within this present lifetime and become very successful. But then there seems to be always be another barrier or some kind of unjustified weird anxiety or energy that you can't quite figure out, and that's where past life healings come into play. Then there's also, I have relationship clearings and chakra balancing, spirit guide coaching, and much more. And right now I'm learning Reiki as well and just continuing to grow at my own beautiful pace. So if anybody hasn't followed me, my Instagram is Johnny Bloom Lives, or Grateful Soul Clearings, also on Instagram as well. So yeah. Hey, strawberry sugar. So, quick tarot. We are fools, and we climb these mountains, yet we still hang our heads, and we're trying to balance the dark and light like the high priest so that we can get to that point of flying through the sun within the flames. And these other people and dragons are like, hey, how do you do that? What are you doing? And we're just staying focused on what we're doing with the stuff and things, and trusting, and the spirit's always telling us to wake up and trust me. Get out there, get out of bed. So that's about it for my little shindig. So remember, you are who you are. You are a shooting star, and there is someone wishing upon you.
Wonderful. Robert, thank you so much. Honestly, dude, I don't think I realized how beautiful your hair was until tonight. Like, I don't know if it's just like it's a light of the full moon or something, dude. But dude, that was and kudos to you for planning that whole thing out from the very start of the broadcast. I'm like, he's really wearing that hood tonight. Like, there's and then it's like, oh, ta-da, the reveal. It was worth it, like a true wizard. So, Robert, bonus points to you, dude. Appreciate you being here and sharing your unique style of expression. So beautiful. All right, okay, team, let's keep things going. Again, we're getting close to the 10:30 point, but I just want to be able to create an opportunity for everybody here, just be able to share anything else, just kind of call it closing thoughts and closing gratitude. And AP, if you are still in here, no, AP dropped out, but I think that was Keyway. So shout out to our friend Keyway. And oh, you know who's missing tonight? Derek. I didn't tell him we were doing a broadcast. Oh well, next time we'll get Derek in here. That's all right. So, okay, so let's just kind of get close to wrapping it up with some final thoughts. And thank you again, everybody, for being here, for being a part of this panel discussion, part of this synergy circle. So just closing general thoughts. Obviously, there's way more that we could talk about, but we'll share it for another broadcast. Who just wants to close off with anything else that they want to just be able to add? So Kristen, and then Kay, and then anybody else after that. So Kristen, go right ahead when you're ready.
Beautiful. Thank you all so much for sharing your divine expression of self and for being able to show up and share your wisdom. Leia is spirit dog sharing her wisdom at the moment too. Apparently she had some light guardian wisdom to share at the moment. So, but yeah, I just wanted to send my gratitude for everybody for being here and for sharing your hearts and beautiful wisdom has been shared. Lots of inspiration started. So thank you for this space and thank you all for sharing and thank you for allowing me to share too.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen, as well. And Kay, we'll pass over to you. And who wants to go after Kay? If you can just put your hand up real quick, we'll figure that out. Lizzy? Okay, perfect. Kay, go right ahead.
All right. You guys all rock. Even though I've never met you, I think you're all freaking awesome. And I wish for you all to stay blessed and just stay in your courage and just keep pushing forward. I know there's gonna be days where you need to slow down and do your self-care and just take a breather and stuff like that. But I wish for you all to shine the brightest you've ever shined in your life and to freaking get out there and just rock it. The last thing I want to say is, Brendon, you've been holding it down for a long time online. Like, I don't even know how long I've been watching you online on Facebook, on Instagram. You've been holding it down. And I think, like, for a lot of us, you've been a pretty good grounding force online to keep us inspired and to keep building this community. And I think I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate and respect what you're doing, and I honor what you're doing. And there's a lot of other people like you as well, like Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters. All these kinds of characters are really holding it down for all of us. And there's people like myself. I've launched a podcast and an interview platform that I was doing for a while, and I got sick, so I had to take a break. I'm going to be launching that coming up soon. But it was so amazing to continue to see people like Brendon and others that I follow, like Infinite Waters, to hold it down and continue keeping this momentum, because it keeps people like us inspired who are trying to get to that level and trying to build our platforms and our online brands. But we have other challenges we have to get through in life. And yeah, it's an inspiration. It's amazing to keep watching it. And although I can't participate in every single meeting with this community, with this group, I always have you guys in my heart. Brendon, I always have you top my list of people that are holding it down and kicking ass online, even though I might not interact with you all the time online. I really respect what you've done and the amount of effort you've been putting in doing your documentaries, your videos. Like, people don't realize until you start doing it how much effort this actually takes on a daily basis to stay focused and to stay in alignment and to just do the work and grind it out. Like, it's actually not as easy as it looks. So again, like, Brendon, thank you so much for everything that you've been doing for the past, like, I don't even know how many years I've been following you, 10 years, I don't even know. Like, thank you so much for continuing to grind it out and keep us all connected. And for creating that space here in Canada, holding it down for our country on a larger level. Like, you've been doing a lot of amazing work. And so I look forward to connecting with a lot of you guys in future meetings. And yeah, sending you all lots of love and strength and fire. And let's keep this train going. Now let's keep this momentum going and not let it go down. We got to rock it out, man. Fire up, time to suit up and power up and show these people what we're made of.
You said it, Kay. That's right. Absolutely. Again, this is what we're here for. We're here to get hyped up. And again, it's like Light Guardians Unite. Like, I want you guys to feel like we're in some like epic movie, some epic story, some epic mythos, because we really, really are. And Kay, again, just appreciating your sentiments and thank you so much for your kind words and the work that you do as well. And it's all, again, like every single person does. Like, it's all so important. I just happen to be the part of you that incarnated as this part of me who's again just like people think I do what I do through Paradigm Shift just because it's like, oh, like it's an entrepreneur thing and stuff like that. It's like, man, it's like, no, man, like it's like I had to become an entrepreneur in order to be able to fulfill the mission. And the mission is what it's about. And the mission is, again, this calling within my heart where it was like, find the others, build a tribe, bring people together, cultivate the inspiration, and ripple the magic. And to keep doing that. And I appreciate each and every single one of you who feel called to join these circles. I think it's such a beautiful space that we create together. And I know more and more people are finding out about it each and every day, even just from word of mouth of you guys. And we're here, again, to be able to create this like web of fractals, this web of community. So each and every single one of you, you're your own portal. You are Paradigm Shift Central, like each and every single one of us. That's kind of the idea. Like Paradigm Shift Central is more of like a symbol and a metaphor to realize like that's something that we carry inside of us. We are the center point of the shift. So each and every single one of you, all the creators and all the people who tune in for all the, and Ren's cat. Can we just get a close up of Ren's cat? Oh, it ran away. Okay, I was gonna say, it's like, can we interview that cat real quick? I feel like they're the true wizard here on the show. Holy crap, that cat's adorable. Okay, I'm just gonna okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the cuteness of the cat there, but thank you, Ren. But yeah, more cats still to come, and thank you to all the cool cats who are tuned in and who are part of this community. And yeah, I hope you guys really feel that what we're doing here tonight is much more than just a podcast. It's much more than just like some entrepreneurial thingamajig or whatever. Like, this is really like something that's deep and true to my heart, to be able to help bring people together who are passionate about being able to help change the world and rippling this out in ways that we cannot even measure and imagine fully, because we are here for something like very important. This is literally like the epic that we have chosen to come here to be a part of as souls, as shifters, as light guardians. So thank you each and every single one of you for bringing your unique gifts and talents and choosing to be a light guardian, choosing to be the change you wish to see in the world. And yeah, let's keep things going around, and we'll pass it over to Lizzy. We'll pass over to Lizzy. And who wants to go after Lizzy? Just go ahead and raise your hand. We can figure that out. Ren's cat can raise her hand. No? Okay. All right. Okay. We'll pass over to Lizzy, and then Kelly, I'm not sure if you want to go next, but you're welcome to go next. Anybody after that? Okay, perfect. Lizzy, passing it back to you. Go right.
Awesome. I know I had an awesome time because my butt is getting sore, like tingly. So perfect timing. Everything is working out in my favor. Um, Brendon, this space is magical, especially like the new moon. Like this really, I feel like tied everything together. Um, and I'm really just excited to like keep building the momentum, but like keep doing it in a way that feels good. And a word that came up for me, I wrote it really big. I don't know if you, it's intention. Um, and I just think that our intentions really determine like the trajectory of like where the momentum takes us. There was a mention about like the seed of like life, right? And I just think it's so interesting that like you look at the seed and it's like this little seed can become like anything, and the difference maker is like the intention that that consciousness has within that seed is what it's going to become. So um yeah, that's just what I wanted to end on. I'm super excited to continue to show up in this community, and then take the transformations that I've been able to experience in my life and just push it forward and be here, with your support and to support you all. So thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you again, Lizzy, so much. And yeah, man, it was a good night tonight. Feels really nice just to be back with everyone. And again, it's just like Mercury retrograde is just a memory at this point. We'll just take the lessons that we need, and we'll keep moving forward. And we're right back where we were, and we're a step closer towards our destiny, as I shared. So just like Man, it looks like that Mercury retrograde hit you like a truck. Several trucks, actually. So yeah. I feel like I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Like, I'm just gonna create a shirt that just says several trucks, actually, and then the people who get it will get it and no one else will get it. I don't know. The phrase became really popular from that TikTok video. But okay, anybody else? Kelly, we'll pass it over to Kelly. There she is. And anybody else with any closing thoughts after that? Go right ahead, Kelly.
Hi, thank you everyone. This has been the most pleasant just journey this evening with all of you. That being said, it's just a wonderful feeling that I get being in community again after, I don't want to keep blaming it all on Mercury retrograde, but it seems like the last month and a half has been one of those months where slowly I've had to work on myself so much, and being able to come back into the collective and like having everyone here united together as one, and like already getting set up to like learn about human design charts. And I hope to connect with every single one of you individually. That would be awesome, because we all are so special here. Everyone has such an amazing gifts and talents, and just amazing human beings, and there's a reason why we're all here together. There is a reason why we are all here. And Brendon, thank you so much again, because I see you sometimes when you're doing so much for the community, and you're just a superhero in itself. You are a god-given superhero. And as are all of us, when we are all becoming these just intergalactic warrior light warriors. And it's so awesome to be able to be in this time, this era, and everything with everyone. So I appreciate being here. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you again, Kelly. Yeah, absolutely. Just like top-notch team that we got here tonight. The spiritual Avengers, whatever you guys want to call ourselves. And yeah, shifters of the world. So okay, let's anybody else who wanted any closing thoughts, and if not, we'll get close to wrapping it up. And I think am I just double checking? Last call. And any comments from the YouTube, please feel free to leave those into the chat, and we can read those on air before you wrap this up as well. And let's just finish it off just with a very short meditation, and not even just going to get like super deep to it, just kind of bring us back to that circle, close it off, do a little group hug under the full moon, and then we'll call it a night. And again, all the energy that we're cultivating here, it doesn't end with this broadcast. It continues through the ongoing events that we have within the community. So if you're tuned into this and you really like what it is that we're creating here, again, tune in for our team meditations, tune in for our paradigm shift circles, tune into the other events being created by other members in the community. There's a lot of awesome stuff still to come. So if everyone's ready, just go ahead and get nice and comfortable, and we'll read some of the comments in the chat once we come back from our little meditation. So just really short one, literally just like 3 minutes, if that. And for everybody here, just go ahead, and when you're ready, just gently close your eyes. And just allow yourself to connect with your breath once again. Soft, gentle inhales. Soft, gentle exhales. And just bringing yourself back to this visualization of all of us sitting in a circle. And again, maybe visualizing all of us sitting around a campfire under the full moon, out on a beach, or just in a cute little yoga studio. Just take this opportunity to just look around the circle one more time, and just expressing how proud you are for each and every single person here. Just thanking them for showing up, thanking them for sharing their own unique reflection of source, their expression of the light that shines through the crystal they are, the superhero that you are. And so just breathing here, even feel free to gently put your hands on your chest. Just take a moment, just within silence, just be able to feel this love, feel this gratitude, and to cultivate and embody this energy that will carry with us beyond the end of this circle here tonight. Just take a few moments here in your own silence. Just breathing here, and you can imagine everybody just gently standing up. And feel free to just individually go and say hi to certain people, maybe giving them a hug, expressing your gratitude. And together here, we'll just allow ourselves to visualize just coming together for a big group hug, a big like cinnamon hug. You can gently wrap your arms around yourself. Just continuing to breathe here, add a little bit of a gentle sway as you just feel us synchronizing in this hug. And just be here in this moment as we just feel this single heartbeat, a single breath, just kind of dissolving the boundaries and just melting into a beautiful cosmic goo of love, more or less. Just take a few moments here and just feel this love and just be in this peace. As you breathe here with the energy of the full moon, amplifying the love within your heart, the magic you carry, I just want to invite you to take this opportunity to be able to speak a promise to yourself. And not just to yourself, but a promise to Gaia, to the mother itself. Whatever that promise may be, it may be a small promise, it may be a big promise, one that is true to your heart in this moment. Take an opportunity here to just reflect. What promise do you just want to be able to speak into reality in this moment? Just breathing that truth into your heart. Just honoring every single person here for carrying the lineage, the wisdom, the magic, the sacredness. From seed to seed. The seed that turns into a tree that drops another seed, and the cycle continues. Knowing that the work we do here today ripples both into the past and into the future. And so let us stand for tomorrow today as the light guardians we are. May you move forward from the circle with a little bit more inspiration in your heart. May you see the world as the magic that is a reflection of the magic you are. And so just give yourself one more squeeze, 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 squeeze. And with a nice big inhale, release on the exhale. Just taking this opportunity to breathe. And thanking everybody again within your imagination, giving some final hugs. Feel free to come up and thank me, and I thank you again for being here, for bringing your unique energy. And slowly from here, we'll gently transition our awareness back to our physical body while holding this image within our mind, knowing that we can return back to the space at any time. And as you continue to breathe here, gently bring your awareness back to your physical body as you wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and gently open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you. Beautiful. Awesome. And we'll just take one more moment here for anybody who had any comments in the YouTube chat. Feel free to just leave those. Any comments of gratitude. Just seeing some of the comments there. Thank you to Lauren. Thank you to Jessica. Thank you to other Jessica. Thank you to everybody who's been tuned in on the YouTube and just leaving your comments. Thank you to Priestess of Wonderland and anybody else as well, and Amanda and all the beautiful, amazing people who have been a part of the chat tonight, and for those of you listening into the future as well. So with that said, we will wrap things up. And again, reminder, be sure to connect to our Discord server if you haven't already yet. If you want to listen to these podcasts on Spotify, you can also do that. You can also find some of the Paradigm Shift Circles on Spotify that we've recorded. And again, be sure to tune in for our Paradigm Shift Circles Wednesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. EDT for our non-recorded voice-only conversation, which anybody on the Discord is welcome to participate in. And also, if you'd like to be able to connect further with the community and just add your support, be sure to check out the Patreon. That's where you can join as a leading member. It's the $11 a month option, and that will give you more access in the community and help you get additional support. And you can join on air for these podcasts, exclusive events, help you be supported on your journey as a conscious creator and community facilitator. So if you're thinking of like, man, I really want to create like a really cool online community and bring people together and do all sorts of awesome things, and yeah, definitely check out the Patreon, and I'd be happy to be able to connect with you and help you get set up. And for those of you who are looking to connect with me for one-on-one sessions, definitely reach out and I can help you get some clarity on your next steps as a conscious creator, anything else that you want to be able to brainstorm. And yeah, be sure to check out the links in the info for this video for all the links to the creators that have been featured on tonight's broadcast, which again includes Joshua, Lizzy, Kristen, Pleiiades, Justine, Johnny, aka Robert, Kelly, Kay, and Ren. And I'm so happy that we had our opportunity here tonight, and many full moon blessings to each and every single one of you. And yeah, be sure to share this with your friends, tune in for awesome stuff, connect with all the creators. And I think that's basically about it. And yeah, we'll wrap it up here, and we'll see some of you bright and early for the team meditation in 11 hours from now, literally in 11 hours. So in a blink of an eye, we'll be back here once again. So I love you guys so much. Let's finish it off with some nice wolf howls together, or any other whooping noises that you guys want to make as we send some love and thank everyone again for joining in tonight. So one more wolf howl for everybody here. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Have an awesome night. Woo! Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you again, team. Much love. As always, keep it shifty, and welcome to the future. Light Guardians unite. Yeah! Special thank you to Danny Leonardo, whose music is featured at the beginning and end of this podcast. Be sure to check out more of Danny's work in the YouTube info below. Thank you, Danny.